Hello, my name is Ian Henderson and I'm privileged to be the Director of Training at Eagle Training Limited. I'm delighted to welcome you to today's View from the Eagle's Nest, and today's video is all about a formula that changed my life. One of the most enjoyable parts of my job is to see the people I work with grow in their ability and their confidence in both their personal and professional lives. And I believe that one of the key tools in personal development is a simple formula first identified by Dr. Robert Resnick, and one that I have used a lot in my training and coaching work with people over the last 25 years, and also in my own personal life. The formula is E times R equals O. Resnick wrote it as E plus R equals O, but I believe that the elements actually multiply rather than simply add to each other. Okay, so let's look at what the formula is all about. In the formula, E stands for events. Now, all of us experience events. In fact, I believe that life is a never-ending stream of events. I'm recording this video in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, that is surely one hell of an event. The economic situation resulting from the lockdown is another event that affects most of us. It certainly had an effect on us here at Eagle Training. Getting up this morning was an event. The weather outside, which is hot and sunny as I sit in my office recording this video, is an event, and that has me feeling pretty good about the day. In fact, anything you care to name is really an event that you experience in this thing called life. I believe you need to understand that events happen to everyone, whether you are rich or poor, young or old, black or white, tall or short. We all experience events 24/7, 365. The difference is how you deal with them, which leads me on to the O in the equation. The O are the outcomes that you experience from each of the events that you have to deal with. Now, I'm going to guess that sometimes the outcome you get is exactly the outcome you want, but sometimes the outcome you get will not be the one that you would have wanted. Either way, one thing is for sure, and that is that you will always get an outcome. So what's the difference that makes the difference? Now, just going off track for just a minute, that question is a great one to ask yourself when you are looking at why something went well in one case and why something else didn't. But back to the story. The R in the equation is actually your choice, and it can stand for your reaction to the events, or it can stand for your response to the events. Now, for me, the word reaction has a very specific meaning. For me, it means that your behavior in the moment is driven by your immediate emotions. And there are three things that we need to understand about emotions. Firstly, they happen really quickly. No one ever takes long before the red mist comes over them, do they? No, it happens really quickly. Secondly, your emotions can be extremely powerful, for good or ill. They can change your chemical composition in your body. One example of this might be the increase in adrenaline when you feel the need to get the hell out of a situation, in a way reminiscent of a prehistoric man running away from the threat of a wild animal. No, not a dinosaur. Now, history has many examples of people who have done things that a human being could not do under normal circumstances, but can as a result of this chemical change. The third thing to note is that your emotional reactions can become habitual. In other words, you have developed subconscious patterns of behavior that kick in at certain times. Now, I'm not saying that you should rid yourself of emotions. No, it's just that when you are driven by your emotions, you might be losing some degree of control, and this might result in an unsatisfactory outcome for you. The alternative is that you respond and not react. By responding to events rather than reacting to them, you give yourself choice. The late great Jim Rohn always said that you are not a goose. Now, I think what he meant by that was that a goose will always fly south in winter, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere. It has no choice. It's instinctive. I can't imagine a gaggle of geese debating this one, can you? Okay, wings up, who wants to fly east this year? But as a human being, you do have the power to choose. To really achieve better outcomes more of the time, my suggestion is that you experience the event and then stop. Do nothing other than consider what you want to happen in a particular event. Then, and here's the key, step into the gap between the event and the outcome. And in that gap, exercise your independent will and decide what you need to do in order to get it. In other words, choose your outcome, and then back up from there and decide how to get it, rather than behaving in the moment driven by your immediate emotions and then getting the result that in turn produces. Now, I know that sounds easy, and some people tell me it's not always possible to be so calculating. Well, I actually agree. But personal empowerment is having this skill in your toolkit and using it at the appropriate time. All I ever say to my delegates and clients is, try it. What have you got to lose? If it does work, you've got a fantastic way of getting better results in your personal and professional life. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope very much that you've enjoyed it and have also found it useful. If you have, keep an eye out for more videos in the Views from the Eagle's Nest series. You might also want to listen to our podcasts, which we have called Thoughts from the Eagle's Nest. In the meantime, thank you, and please take care.